Hello, good evening, and welcome to my stream. Something new? First, cheers. I'm drinking wine because it's still holidays. And cheers and very nice evening from Felden, from the lake Wörthersee. Looks amazing, the surrounding. Maybe you know this location. It's the location every year in July from the Poker European Championship, Foncos in Austria. This year, because of COVID-19, it was cancelled, but we hope it will come back next year. It's not only for me one of the nicest and best tournaments in Europe, and this like because like of this nice location, nice weather, and our beloved Austria. So I hope you're well. I also hope you spent some holidays. I'm still on holidays. I was in Croatia, which they told me over there. They don't believe on COVID. Okay. I'm healthy back in Austria, here on the lake, so here we'll stay another 5 days. To the end, everything is really fine, and I hope all of you, all my followers, and everybody is fine. Cheers to Sir Abu. He's also in Corinthia. He's not so far away from me, I think, and maybe we can see us this week. Yeah, what's going on in the poker business? I have no idea. I was on holidays. I'm following Poker Firma regularly. Also, like not every morning in the holidays, but at the end, I don't know really any news or gossip, so I'm sorry for this. The only thing I know, all my partners are still busy. Poker Firma, I think Rose is never ever having some holidays. So I think we have to make maybe a charity tournament to collect some free time, not money for her, but free time that we can send Rosie on holidays once. Window Day is running a lot poker in the summer. It's like the Twister Cup is going on. They will have like a lot of Omar tournaments and bounty tournaments. So at the end, they're still going a lot of online, and most of the people have now time, and sometimes it's too hot outside. So it's also good to relax inside and play some poker. Yeah, my other partner, Reba Stars, is also very busy. This Saturday, for all people living around Bratislava, you have to go to Bratislava. I think it's really the Vienna poker city, the new one. 50,000 guarantee, 1 day tournament, and 90 euro buy-in. I will go straight there from my holidays, straight from Corinthia to Bratislava to join this tournament, at least to meet all my friends and partners over there. So at the end, you should also should take a look if you have time. Maybe it's raining, maybe it's stormy, whatever, but it's a good opportunity to go to Bratislava. Also a good opportunity is to go to Prague if you like progressive knockout and also like city tourists. A Swiss friend of mine had a post on social media. He is now in Rome, and there were like I think 10 tourists in front of the Colosseum. So I think if you're not afraid of Corona, I think you should really travel to some cities. It's the best. And if you want to go to Prague, there are 2 progressive knockout tournaments with 40,000 guarantee, also 1 day tournament, but it's quite a high roller tournament with 400 or 500 euro buy-in. So for locals, it's a high roller. So I also can recommend to visit Prague because the tourist, the tourism is like 60-70% down there. And it's really unique to visit cities like Prague and maybe Venice or Bratislava or Vienna, whatever, during the Corona time, if you're not afraid to go there, which is still risky and on the border. Maybe you have to wait some couple of hours. Yeah, I want to make a short stream tonight. I was missing my stream and I was missing all my community. Rosie has a pool. This is enough. No, come on, Rosie. So we're waiting for my next stream. Maybe Rosie is inviting me to her pool so we can make Poker Firma stream from her pool. And I know that she's cooking a lot and I think also quite good. So my dream is now Poker Firma streaming, barbecue streaming at the pool from Rosie from Poker Firma. So you can give me a vote who wants to be also like part of this, at least online. But honestly, pool or no pool, Wörthersee is really unique. So let's step forward because it's holidays and we have to drink a lot. That's why also white wine. I think it's more stylish. It fits much better here in the surrounding than vodka this time. And a good glass of white wine It's close to vodka, but not that good. Okay, let's jump to the first rulings. Yeah, as you can see, my background is always the lake. I don't travel with my green screen at the end, but I think it's a nice background. So, a situation which one floor wrote to me, people heads up, and we're now on the flop already with the flop ace 10 4. Colors, they doesn't matter. A checks and B bets, and then A check raises all in. And now B is asking A, what hand do you have? And A is answering ace check. And then B calls with king king, and it comes to the showdown, and A really shows ace check. So turn and river doesn't change the game, and A is winning the pot. And now B is calling the floor, and he asked the floor, now you have to kill the hand of A because he told the truth, and he really had ace check. So there are some rulings about trash talk about your hands. First, my ruling here is very, very clear. A wins the spot. There's no discussion. The reason why is very simple. So at the end, you should not talk about your hand. But if your heads up, I think this trash talk has like more, the board is like quite more open. So this is not a borderline decision. And on top, B was starting this conversation to ask A, what hand do you have? So at least if you start a conversation and you want to talk about hands, don't be surprised if you get an answer, and don't be surprised if the answer is also correct. To the end, no chance. We can also take a look at DDA, what DDA is saying. It's not 100% clear, so it always stays a number one rule. So it means like the turn operator can decide whatever he wants. So you can see like here, you should not discuss of your live or mucked hands. You should not advise or criticize the play of other people, which a lot of people doing, you should not play this, you should raise, you should check, whatever. And you should not read a hand that hasn't been tabled. So there, at the end, there was no showdown. But at the end, as I said, if there's a third player in this hand, the decision would be really completely different. But as the heads up, trash talk as let's say standard, I would never ever kill the hand of A. To the end, I think everything is fine over here. It was trash talk. And if you like, the only rule I would maybe kill this hand if it's like a monologue. So we have some players, they're talking non-stop, and they always try to get information out of another player. So if a player non-stop asking the other player, so what do we have? How strong you are? I'm stronger than you? What do you think? You're friends. Then maybe you have to stop this trash talk. But in this case, it was a normal dialogue in a heads-up situation. And also I like, this is kind of a little bit of, depends to poker, this trash talk, to get some information out of the player. But at the end, I would not penalize a player who tells us the truth. I think it's also stupid. Some people say there's a rule, if you tell the truth about your hand, then you should get a penalty. On the other side, if I say I have ace king, so this is the logic, there's some logic things about. So if I don't tell the truth, he would know that I don't have ace king. I think it's like a quest with like 3 boards, 3 doors in a prison, whatever. Forget it. Maybe too much white wine. But this is logic. So if I don't have to tell the truth, why should I lie? Because then it's logic. If I lie, he knows also the truth at the end. Simple ruling from my side. Okay, there was another one. Happens sometimes in tournaments, especially in bigger tournaments with online qualifiers. So after a break, a player is coming back from his break, and he starts to take out chips out of his pockets. Question to me, Thomas, what would you rule? So the ruling here is like let's say a simple procedure at the end. The first, we try to make a chip count. So depends when this happens. Sometimes if you're lucky, it's just in the beginning of the break of a level, so maybe level 2. There was not a lot of moving players through the whole area. So at the end, you can make table chip count because you know the starting stakes. So at the end, you can prove if the stake is correct or not. The other way, it's like an advice to the floor stuff. At the end, I am a friend to make a visual chip count every break. So just to the people, the dealer should count very fast so that they have like estimation what stake this player would have. The other thing is also like to not have these problems. I think the dealer should always come back to the same table. So dealers and other players, most of the time, there's always some player that know how big the stake was of these players. So the end, I would not instant disqualify these players, especially if I know the history of a player. I would also investigate if it's a new player, if it's an experienced players. Try not to penalize him too strong. DD, which is by far now the most used tournament rules, Hi Thompson World. Cheers to Thompson, one of my regular follower. Cheers, wherever you are. I hope you enjoy the summer, like me. So did they say the players should not carry their chips in the pockets, the house, the casino should provide regs, transport, all this stuff, but the end, I think it's still not so easy. So the end, I would not disqualify these players. I would try to get a proof of the chip count. I will observe the player. You can give him a warning, or you give him also a penalty of 1 round or 1 orbit, so the player will remember which mistake he had. And my last advice is make these rulings always at the disadvantage of this player. So then if you're not sure what you should decide, just do it at the disadvantage of this player, because he made a mistake, he put chips in his pockets, and it's your right also in this time maybe to disqualify a player if you're not sure, because he could pass chips to his friend players. He can just keep the chips in a satellite for another tournament. So at the end, it's not 100% clear, but in this case, I always try to not disqualify the player. Okay, then another point, which is for me always a very funny story in all the stories of rulings and procedures and what is correct and what is not correct. What's the minimum I can raise, also this minimum raise? So I got the question from a dealer, by the way, if you have any old rulings, decisions, we're not sure what was the right one or what you would decide, you can ask me also anonymous, because I know that not many people want to ask me in the chat because they want to stay incognito, because they feel maybe ashamed, if they ask a tournament director, what would you rule? So then they prefer to send me a private message. So please feel free, if you feel ashamed or you don't want to be in the chat or you want to be public, just send me anytime a private message, send me an email, contact me on social media and ask me any ruling question you want. I will not mention from whom this question is coming, like here. Okay, we are in the game, no limit hold'em 100-200. We are on the turn. Player A bets 200 and B bets all in 300. So what's now the minimum for player C? Yeah, this is always the discussion now. If this 300 is now a raise or it's no raise. There are a lot of people that saying, also the rule is saying that's an incomplete raise, but they still decide that the smallest bet is 200 because the blinds are 100-200. So you could raise the minimum to 500. This is the minimum raise. There's a no limit, so at the end you can raise whatever you want more. I'm a friend of this spelling. It's an incomplete bet because the minimum bet would be 400 for him. Because he's all in, the bet is not complete. So for me, it's always the ruling that this player, the next player, can complete the bet to 400. This is always my opinion and my ruling in situation about minimum. What's his position? It doesn't matter at the end. Let's say he's under the gun. He's the first one after the blinds. Or he's in the middle position or late position. It really makes no difference. It's just that the players makes all-in bet, which is not a full raise. And this is the whole discussion. Can the next player minimum make 500 or 400? As I said, I like the spelling incomplete bet or incomplete race. That's why I decide all the time that the next player, if he wants a minimum, he could complete the bet. This is also an old rule from the limit games to complete a bet, but I think for a minimum, why it's logic in the limit games to complete a bet and why it's not logic in no limit hold'em games or the pot limit game. So for me, I would say it's 400, the minimum what he could raise. Another situation, very similar. Not Thompson, not everybody knows the standard minimum raise. It's simple. The standard minimum raise is always the raise before. So if somebody makes a bet 500, the minimum raise is now 500 more. If the bet is 1,000, I raise it to 3,000. It's 2,000 more. The minimum raise is now 2,000 more. But it's getting complicated if the player is all in. So, for example, same situation, normal hold'em 100, 200. You're on the flop, and our bet's 150. We had this already in one of my chats, and I discussed this a long time with another floor. What the next player can do, has to do. Now think about this situation is pre-flop. So we are pre-flop, the blind's 100 to 200, and the big blind is all in with 150. It's the same situation like here, but it's not on the flop, it's pre-flop. And now the rule is the next player has to call 200. And now it's my logic. Pre-flop, the player has to complete the bet because he's all in with the big blind 150, and post-flop at the end, now he can accept 150. He has no right to complete the bet, and that's my logic at the end to say, you know, if this bet is like this, you always can complete the bet. This is my decision of minimum, and the official definition of a raise must be at least equal to the largest per year full bet or raise of the current betting round. So then, if he's all in with less, for me, it's not complete. That's why incomplete, and that's why the next player is allowed to complete the bet. That's for me, the minimum bet. That's my idea of logic. I never say I'm right all the time, but this is my logic, and we discuss this with many floors, and there's at the end no solution. I think there are two ways of logic. Logic number one is the minimum raise is always like 200 more because it's a big blind. My logic is like you can complete the bet and make it a full raise before. By the way, I discussed it once, also like with Rose, we discussed it about streaming, success, no success, and Rose and me, we said once, we need kind of a scandal, you know, to get sometimes more followers. But honestly, I don't care about followers anymore. I think I do my stream like information stream for a lot of people, for my business, for floor and tournament directors, and it's kind of information. I'm not focused on big numbers of followers. I think it's just information stream where people get my opinion, some knowledge. We can share in the future some knowledge, and that's why I hope as soon as the live event, the bigger one, really starts again, we can share more information. And that's why I also think it was so funny the last time about this problem of this low pay chip dumping. At the end, I got 4 times more follower and 5 times more clicks on my video afterwards. So at the end, the world just needs scandals to be. Yeah, Thompson, white wine, because I think because of my surrounding Austria, Lake, Felden, I think it deserves a good glass of white wine and no vodka lemon this time. But I promise, when I'm back in Austria, it will be vodka again. Yeah, these were my rulings and decisions from 2 weeks ago, which I wanted to complete. And the main reason I said I want to say hello to everybody. I want to say to everybody hello if everybody's healthy. And next week should be like my standard stream back. And here we have a situation of showdown. And this is like for next week. What I explained before, I got today a question of one floor. He asked me what would my ruling at spot limit Omar if happens to this. So at below, we are at the showdown, and A is opening his hand, and the dealer just reading the hand of player A and announces straight. Now B is showing only 2 of his 4 whole cards, and then mark his hand all his 4 cards. And now they're realizing that the dealer made a mistake, and A doesn't have a straight, and the 2 whole cards of player B would beat the hand of player A. And the question is like then for next week, what would you rule? So at the end, you can think about what would be your ruling, why not, would be A the winner, would be B the winner. There's some arguments against and for. I know what I decide, and I told this my colleague already. But this is the quest for next week for all of you to find out if it's correct. By the way, I'm not sure. Sometimes I have the red light connection, so I'm sitting here in a nice holiday apartment, and I'm not sure that the Wi-Fi is that strong. So I apologize if the quality of the stream is not the best. As I said, it's a holiday stream. I just was missing my stream and my monologue. And very soon, I hope I also get some back friends to my Zoom meeting or live guests here in my stream. Yeah. At the end, I'm already coming to the end of my stream. As I said, it should be like just a short say hello to my friends, to my colleagues, and to my followers, to say hello. And I hope you're all fine and spending some holidays, maybe on those nice places like in Austria. Felden is fully booked. Quite strange not to have like the Poker European Championship here in Felden. I'm really missing the atmosphere to go through the casino, see all the banners and the players, you know, because in Felden when you go normally in July through Felden, like every 1 minute, 2 minutes, you have to say hello, 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 hello. It's full of poker players. Now, some players are here. Also, like Jessica was here last week. We just missed each other, but it's not the same atmosphere. And like from 9 p.m. we have to wear our mask outside. Quite strange. If you walk outside, you have to wear the mask. And left and right, all the bars are completely full and crowded. So at the end, yeah. Let's say this is our COVID-19 logic, which we not everybody of us understands. But the good news is, I think. I have some events scheduled, hopefully already in autumn, in September, October, November. So fingers crossed that we don't have a strong second wave and maybe no second wave. And then like at the end, we could have like some live events. But at the end, it's getting close to normal. I say like Bratislava, Prague, Rotterdam, they're running already normal business, I would say. And all the other casinos, step by step, Quebec is in France, San Remo. There's also like some tournaments back, small tournaments back, so step by step. In Germany, also like some casinos were starting with poker also now, so like everybody is offering poker again at the casino. So step by step, I think we're coming back to normal life, and we get used to handle the problem of COVID. Good, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for dinner. I want to get a good fish. I'm eating fish, I think, in 2 weeks. I didn't lost any kilos, but I try to go swimming every day, which is quite easy with this background. So if you're in Felden, join me at 7:30 for a nice swim. If you're not in Felden, I'm sorry for you. Better luck next time. Good. I wish you all a very nice evening. I wish you all a very nice week. I hope you really enjoy the summer in your home country. Maybe we're all not traveling a lot. I took the risk for Croatia because I booked this holidays already in February, and it was really the right decision. It was really, really, really good. But I can't finish because now I get a question in the chat. So, okay. Goodie, the king. Welcome, good evening. I have a question auf Deutsch, but I will translate it into English. I have a question. We're not allowed to take any chips away from the table at the cash game. But we very often pay coffee, Coke, or like food when we eat and drink. Yeah. This question I had already like 20. Oh, thank you. I'm allowed to speak English. Yay! It's more international. I also like thinking about my stream, but this will tell you later because why German or English. Yes, you're right. It's not allowed to take any chips away from the table, but you are allowed to pay your food, your drinks, and sometimes it could be like a really decent amount if you like have some schnitzel and some drinks, and then you pay maybe like 40, 50 euro. And if you play, let's say 1-2 or like 1-1 or 1-3, it could be like, let's say, sometimes maybe half of your stack you're paying the waitress. But honestly, I have to protect this rule because it's like it's for the business, for the gastronomy, for the waitress. Otherwise, the game would be delayed too much. Imagine you're playing poker, the waitress is coming and then asking for like, I don't know, 15 euro, 5 euro for a drink, 2 euro for coffee. And all the time you have to take in your pocket, get out your money, get some change, you know. So at the end, like it's very complicated, and maybe some player that have cash, they have to take the credit card, so it takes more time. So I think it makes the game faster, and also like it gives like the waitress a better chance of getting tips, because like we don't have cents, so most of the player giving like higher chips as a tip for the players. And like Thompson said, money is money, but at the end I think it's just for the business the best to accept the chips. Yes, it could change the game, and one thing I think is very important, this I want to mention, the last thing, I think it should be not allowed in a hand. So this is a very, very important rule. So you can discuss this with any floor maybe, but if you're playing cash game and I'm in a bot, I should be not allowed to pay my bill, because this really could change the game totally. So you're allowed to pay the bill with your chips if you're not in the hand. Because in the break, you can add some chips, you can add some money, but you should not, like, let's say I have like 70 euro in front of me, and you bet 120, so I would be all in and say, just wait, how much? 50 euro? Okay, I pay my bill and then go all in with 20. So this is very important, you know, that you're not allowed to pay your gastronomy coffee bills during a hand, only afterwards if you're on a break. Good. Thank you much. I will have a nice day and evening in Selden. I have to look for my family. I was quite lucky that my daughter was coming to Belgium and spending 1 week with parents. This is very rare nowadays, so I'm really happy. Happy that. Good. So, as I said before, I wish you a very nice week, a very nice evening. Happy holidays. We still have like 3-4 weeks of holidays. So I hope you will enjoy your time with your family, and also the time with poker and online. And as I said, like contact me anytime for any questions, and maybe we see us in Bratislava on Saturday for the 50K event. If not, end of August we have an Austrian bounty tournament. This is also a very nice surprise tournament in Bratislava. And hi Flamsen, thank you and goodbye. Gute Nacht, schönen guten Abend, ganz, ganz liebe Grüße aus Felden, und ich hoffe, wir sehen uns alle nächste Woche, dann leider nicht mit so einem schönen Hintergrund, aber vielleicht mein Greenscreen, schweres Wort, wird das alles manipulieren. Dann wünsche ich euch einen wunderschönen guten Abend. Cheers vom Felden und bis bald. Ciao.